There's no way this will fit into a short, but I gotta talk more about my current theories on Legends ZA before they get confirmed and denied by Game Freak. And waiting until I finish the script for the entire video is too long of a wait. With the way my speculative Pokedex for Legends ZA is panning out, space-time rifts are basically guaranteed to come back, and I would be stuffing a lot of Pokemon into these distortions. So I would need to make a lot of drastic changes to the system to avoid trainers completely losing their sanity trying to find them all. Trainers were already way too close to that with Legends Arceus. While a lot of these ideas can be boiled down to make them appear more frequently, I also have an idea that ties into a fun little subplot. So instead of boring you with all the details for now, how about I just focus on that? So space-time rifts will be introduced to you slowly as you progress throughout your adventure. On top of the purpose of what they serve in Legends Arceus of allowing you to catch Pokemon that physically can't exist in this time period, they would also be a major source of Pokemon that don't appear in Kalos natively, such as Pokemon from games that appear after X and Y. Like Legends Arceus, there would still be regionals for some of these that would allow them to be more naturally introduced into the game. But without spoiling my plans for the rest of Pokedex, there's going to be a lot. Way more than you can make regionals out of, if the pace of Legends Arceus, and how many regionals it introduced, is anything to go by. Anyways, unlike the past game, space-time rifts wouldn't be directly tied to the Pokemon driving the plot. For the sake of this video, let's assume that it's Xerneas, as Z is directly in the name, but it doesn't really have the power to create space-time rifts, so it works into the theory of this video pretty well. So instead of space-time rifts being a major part of the ending, about midway through your adventure you would be able to take on a side quest where you directly investigate the source of this phenomenon. During this quest you'll find a little troublemaker making space-time rifts in the area. As you pursue it, you go into one of the space-time rifts and end up in a completely alternate reality. This area works a bit differently from your typical space-time rift, as it would be completely filled with Pokemon from another region. Though this area isn't too big, and you'll eventually run into and face off against the source of space-time rifts for this entire region. And who may that Pokemon be? Why, it's the one and only Hoopla, the Pokemon who made the whole concept of space-time rifts as we know and love it today. Despite being a mythical Pokemon, I feel like everything lines up way too perfectly to not use Hoopla in some shape or form for Legends ZA. Kalos, or more specifically the generation of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, was when it was introduced, and it has a very strong tie with space-time rifts, as it's like its whole special ability, and to my knowledge, it was when the terminology of space-time rift was first introduced. You would face off against Hoopla in a style similar to the noble boss fights from the first game. Through this exchange, you'd be able to befriend Hoopla and use his powers to return to this distorted world whenever you please. There would still be merit to the normal space-time rifts, as a small handful of Pokemon would only appear in them, and treasures like nuggets and shards would not appear in this alternate world. So there's my thoughts on the space-time distortions, at least summarized. There's a few minor details I'd love to go more into, but I'd rather get the main idea of Hoopla being involved in ZA out there before Game Freak releases more news, than wait until I complete an entire video on my speculative decks and risk all my ideas becoming outdated before I can even get them out. As for what specifically lies within the space-time rifts that Hoopla provides, that we'll have to wait for another day, I suppose. So that's all the thoughts I have to share for today. If you like what you saw, check out the rest of the channel. You'll probably see a card for it on screen right now of other shorts that I've done related to Pokemon Legends ZA. So if this topic interests you, check out that playlist for more little speculation ramblings like it. But I do have a few more ideas for shorts like this at the day release. Until next time though, take care.